From July 1976 to August 1977, fear gripped New York City like a vice. Young couples sat nervously in parked cars. Women rushed to dye their hair or cut it short. Parents kept their children indoors after sunset. A predator was on the loose, one who struck without warning, often at night, and left only cryptic notes and bodies in his wake. This was the terror known as the Son of Sam. It began on July 29, 1976. In the Bronx, 18-year-old Donna Lauria was sitting in a car with her friend Violante, chatting outside her home after a night out. Without warning, a man approached the vehicle and opened fire. Donna was killed instantly. Jody was wounded but survived. It would not be the last time. Over the next year, the gunman, armed with a .44 caliber revolver, would go on to claim 6 lives and injure 7 others. His victims were mostly young, often women, and often caught unaware in parked cars. New Yorkers came to know him as the .44 caliber killer, but the letters he began leaving behind told a darker story. In handwritten messages taunting the police and the press, he called himself Son of Sam. He claimed a demonic entity was commanding him to kill, speaking through a dog owned by a neighbor named Sam. The city was terrified, and the killer? He was just getting started. Before he was Son of Sam, he was David Berkowitz. Born Richard David Falco in 1953 in Brooklyn, he was adopted by Nathan and Pearl Berkowitz as an infant and raised in the Bronx. From an early age, he showed troubling signs. Neighbors recalled incidents of arson, cruelty to animals, and aggressive behavior. A troubled and isolated child, he struggled to fit in. When his adoptive mother died during his teenage years, it marked a turning point. His relationship with his adoptive father deteriorated, and when his father remarried and moved away, David was left alone, emotionally and physically. At 18, he joined the U.S. Army, serving 3 years before returning home. He moved into a small apartment in Yonkers in 1975, spiraling deeper into isolation and resentment. By the time he reunited with his birth mother, only to find rejection yet again, his inner torment had begun to manifest in dangerous ways. On Christmas Eve, something snapped. He followed 2 teenage girls and stabbed them with a hunting knife. Both survived, but the crime went unsolved, and Berkowitz would escalate. He began setting fires across New York, later documenting hundreds of them in detailed journals. But it wasn't enough. Soon, fire wasn't enough to extinguish the rage building inside him. The attacks that followed Donna Lauria's murder followed a chilling pattern. On October 23, 1976, 20-year-old Carl Denaro was shot while sitting in a car with a friend. He survived, though with a fractured skull. In November, high school student Donna DeMasi and 18-year-old Joanne Lomino were shot outside Joanne's home. Joanne was left paralyzed. In January 1977, Christine Freund, 26, was killed in Queens as she sat in a car with her fiancé. Just weeks later, 19-year-old college student Virginia Voskerichian was gunned down outside her home in Forest Hills. Each attack brought more confusion. The killer's targets seemed random. The weapon was consistent, a .44 caliber revolver, but the motives remained shrouded in mystery. Then came the letters. After the 6th attack in April 1977, the killer left a chilling note at the scene. "Hello from the gutters of NYC, which are filled with dog manure, vomit, stale wine, urine, and blood." It was signed, Son of Sam. A few weeks later, another letter arrived, this time addressed to journalist Jimmy Breslin of the New York Daily News. The public devoured the morbid poetry, but for law enforcement, it made one thing painfully clear. The killer was enjoying the attention. In his twisted words, Berkowitz claimed that a demonic force named Sam was controlling him. "Sam's a thirsty lad," he wrote, "and he won't let me stop killing until he gets his fill of blood." As the attacks continued, so did the city's panic. Women dyed their hair, cut it short, or wore wigs. Couples stopped parking their cars late at night. Police increased patrols, and the NYPD launched the largest manhunt in New York's history. By July 1977, more than 300 officers were assigned to the case. The fear reached a breaking point on July 31, 1977. That night, 20-year-old Stacy Moskowitz and her companion Robert Violante were shot while sitting in a parked car in Brooklyn. Stacy tragically lost her life. Robert was blinded in one eye, but this time, the killer left a trail. A witness reported seeing a suspicious man near the scene moments before the shooting, taking a parking ticket off his windshield. Police traced the ticket to David Berkowitz. Outside his Yonkers apartment, they found his car. Inside, a rifle, ammunition, maps of past crime scenes, and another taunting letter. When detectives arrested him on August 10, 1977, "Now that we've got you, who have we got?" His chilling reply, "I'm Sam." Inside Berkowitz's apartment, police found satanic graffiti and notebooks describing hundreds of arson attacks. Though he initially blamed demonic voices, psychological evaluations deemed him competent to stand trial. He pled guilty to 6 counts of murder and received 6 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life. The victims, Donna Lauria, Christine Freund, Virginia Voskerichian, Stacy Moskowitz, and others, were mourned by their families and honored by a grieving city. Their names would not be forgotten. Over time, Berkowitz dropped the story of the possessed dog. He later admitted the narrative was a fabrication, a way to distance himself from the horror he inflicted. Behind bars, Berkowitz found religion. He now identifies as a born-again Christian and refers to himself as the Son of Hope. Through an online ministry operated by supporters, he writes spiritual messages and urges young people not to follow the dark path he once did. Despite this transformation, he has never been granted parole and has stated he doesn't believe he ever should be. For over a year, one man held an entire city hostage through fear, manipulation, and violence. The story of the Son of Sam is not just one of murder and madness, it's also a cautionary tale about isolation, untreated trauma, and a desperate cry for attention gone horribly unchecked. But above all, it's a story about lives lost far too soon, victims whose names deserve to be remembered, and a city that refused to be broken.